Good evening, good afternoon, fashion dolls, and welcome to a Style by Stevie exclusive with my very special guest this evening, Chris June, and we have another special guest this afternoon as well too. 6 p.m. My special guest is here, fashion dolls. Yes, let's get this interview started. Hi, handsome. How are you? Can you hear me? Uh-oh.
Can you hear me?
Say something. Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, good. How's it going?
I am going excellent. How are you?
I'm doing great. Just super busy, but all good things, so excited.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, my special guest this evening is Chris June, actor, singer, and you're also very excellent at what you do with talking about mental health awareness. I see a lot of quotes and things on your page pertaining to that as well. Now, I've seen you in Raheem's Twisted web series.
Yeah.
Such an amazing production. Raheem is just genius at what he does. And then another one was called Cheetahs Never Prosper. And then I remember seeing you in Raising Eli. Hey sis, y'all go and check out Shades of Shadura. She is in our BCC group. Dope with makeup. Shout outs to my makeup artist Melanie Nalamai Bridges. Absolutely dope. Go and check out these ladies. But we are talking to Chris June this afternoon, ladies and gents, on his acting career and so many things. So talented. And I interviewed one of your colleagues, Chris Deloach. You was here. So it's so ironic that I'm doing an interview with you now. Right. So how did the production of Twisted come to play? How did you get into it? It's because when you did your character on the show, your brother got killed off, which was sad. It was so sad.
Yeah. Yeah, no, well, Raheem was just getting started with doing his productions, and I had read the script, and I really fell in love with it, especially having done previous web series before. Him having such an approach to telling a really authentic story that wasn't, hypersexualized or anything like that. It was really about, a message that needed to be told, and the family dynamic between me and my brother in the show, and addressing HIV and drug usage and whatnot, and so I felt really humbled to be able to bring that to life. So I'm happy for Raheem. Raheem is really doing it and killing it and going after it, and it's time to tell our stories, and it's great to see people who were acting in those shows who are now saying, okay, you guys got close, but I think I can kind of bring something that's a little bit different, put my own spin and perspective on it.
And he does that collectively, and he also has his film production as well too, as well as Lando. Like, you guys are like in the circle. Each one is working on their own project, and that's what I love. And I talk about supporting, and so does my girl Danita. I know you guys know my girl Danita Rashawn. She was here guest co-hosted with me not too long ago, and today is her birthday, so shout outs to her. I will tag her in this video, so happy birthday, girl. But she said this in one of her lives when she did her interview with Alex Jonte. I know you know Alex Jonte. He's working on his new film, The Assistant. Make sure you guys go and check that out and stream it. Go and check it out. Amazing. Alex is just so talented. You guys are just talented on his own. From Raheem to you to November. All of you guys are just so talented collectively. Next week we're going to have Chi-Chi from T.S. Madison's The Queen Supreme Court. He's going to be here with me, so make sure you guys tune in for that interview. So just collectively, I'm looking to network with people that are in the Atlanta area to help you guys put fashion or whatever it is you want to do out there, especially down here with me being in South Carolina. Like, it's a very small town, and like, everybody's just so close-minded. But I said, you know what, why not expand your horizons? So what made you get into acting?
What made me get into it? Actually, it was in 2016. I had really, I guess I was actually a little bit after they started doing live video or recorded videos on Instagram, and so I was singing, and somebody reached out to me to be in a black box theater show in the DC area, and we sing and dance, and we did that like rotating for weekends for a little while. And because I was kind of putting that out there, I started to kind of get more interest as far as like my creative side and my artsy side. Because apart from that, I was just really posting workout photos, you know. But then I got reached out to by Tyson Anthony, who wrote About Him season 1, and he was, doing his own show, Raising Eli. And he asked me if I wanted to audition for the part, and I was like, well, I don't really act or haven't been acting, but he was just like, well, just give it a try and see. And so I'm one of those people, like, if you tell me to give it a try, like, I'm really gonna try and kill it. And so that's what I did. I was like, I'm gonna give it my best, and I did. And then we did it, and it was amazing. We did season 1, we did season 2. With season 2, I wrote and sang the theme song to that with my best friend Sharnice. Some people don't know that, so I've always kind of weaved a little bit of my music element into everything. Well, anything that will have it, I'll put some music in there.
Now, you are also working on a current project as well, too, The Mister on AC Connection TV.
Yeah.
Shout outs to Wesley.
Right.
He is incredibly talented as well, too. So if you guys know who Tyson Anthony is, you guys should know who Wesley is. If you know who Wesley is, you should know who Raheem is, and Alex as well, too. Like, these men collectively are just talented. Like, you guys come up with so much content, and I'm so proud of you. I'm proud of all of you because you keep giving us the things, especially with us being in quarantine. It makes it difficult for people to do the things that we used to do where we could actually go on set, but you guys make it work, and we give you credit for that 100%. 100%, because it's a lot of work. People don't realize that when it comes to production and things like that, it's a lot of work that goes into it behind the scenes. And people are like, well, how are you able to get these interviews? Well, honey, I had to do my research. I make sure I do my research before I interview a person. And another thing is this, I have to make sure that I'm prepared. Like, I'm always punctual, and I'm all about timing, and I'm pretty sure that Tyson and Wesley, all of them. So how did you get the role in this new production set right here, the Mister?
Well, I followed Wes for a while. It's interesting, the whole social media dynamic, because some people you follow for so long, you've seen them kind of change gears, and he was doing YouTube for a long time. He's got like over 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, so he's legit. And I just kind of knew of him, and he had posted a casting for just open casting for like some different roles, and so I went and I read for this character Aaron, and they loved it, and so they went ahead and cast me in it, and I've had so much fun on this show in particular. It's always fun to play like a really shady character, like you get permission to be that way, because I'm not naturally that way, or try not to be that way. But when you get permission to do that, it's fun. And so I really enjoyed it. It turned out really, really awesome. The first episode is available now on Watch Act TV, so y'all should definitely go check it out. It's a lot of fun, and if we want more, we got to support what we have,
Yes. And shout outs to Wesley, because Wesley, I love what he's done with his platform. Like, when he created this platform, AC Connection TV, he not only showcased LGBT lives, our lives, but he also shows what's going on in the heterosexual community. He shows what's going on in the trans community. Like, he's very diverse. And that's what I love about him, and the fact that he decided to be so inclusive with his platform. Like, you don't really see this on television nowadays. And what really makes me upset is that shows like a BET or VH1 has not really tapped into producers and content creators like this. So we in the LGBTQ community, we give amazing content, but these big name brands like a BET or VH1 need to start casting us as well too. Representation is key.
That's true, and that's what I just started film school this semester down here at SCAD. So so I'm gonna get my master's in film and television. To build on what you said, like, I feel like there is a lot of cultural bias already in the acting community. If you think about it, a lot of the people who are in the higher positions have been there for a long time. But what's happening with us is a very new thing. And so it's hard for those people who have such latent cultural bias about what's been popular to actually see the types of stories that we have to tell as being something that would sell, or being able to see the types of dispositions that we have being, able to capture an audience's attention. And so it's one of those things where it's like, if you're not getting the parts that you feel like would really let you shine, or people aren't writing those stories, then it's just like, well, I'll write the stories. Writing was something that was one of my first interests anyway. And so it's just a matter of like learning the structure and figuring out how to do it. And it is time. And you see it like with P-Valley, you see it with Pose, you've got Moonlight, you've got so many of these new shows.
Yes.
And people want more. They're like, is there going to be a Moonlight 2? Like, when is Pose Season 3 coming out? So it just shows that people really want more. And so you just got to listen. And it's so crazy because you grow up and you don't see yourself apart from like, Noah's Ark or Queer as Folk when I was growing up. You don't see yourself, but you know that you can do it, and you know that you're here for a reason. And your aspirations and what you want to see is also connected to a lot of other people in your same generation. You just gotta, just have faith and go after it and build it if it's not there. So
I see a lot of LGBT content creators coming in here. We've got Akbar 1906. Welcome.
Yeah.
V Brown, actor, singer. Thank you for coming to my interview with Kaden Kelly. I was so nervous, and I'm not even going to speak on what happened into that interview because that was so embarrassing. The phone fell. I was sitting up there. He had me sweating. It was just a mess.
Yeah.
So you guys will enjoy it, but we got it together and we made it work. One thing about me,
keep the show must go
we
on.
made it work.
That's
right.
good.
Even through the midst of chaos, I still managed to make it work. Like, I'm flexible with it.
That's good.
Thank you. Thank you, V Brown. And another thing, we've mentioned Noah's Ark. Noah's Ark set the pace for so many LGBT platforms to be created for African Americans. But the thing is, they were on, I think it was Logo. Back in the day, they were on Logo. And then other shows picked up, other networks picked up this show.
Yeah.
And now you're starting to see a little bit more inclusiveness with shows like P-Valley and The She by Lena Waithe. Like, a lot of designers directors that are LGBT, they are starting to step up and step to the front of the table and say, no, you're going to include us too. And that's what I'm loving. 100%. So what do you guys think about that? If you have any questions for me or Chris, type them in the question box. But those are the best moments when you can be flexible and still get through it. Yes, it was so embarrassing. AC Bar, I'm not even going to lie, it was embarrassing because my phone fell over. He was like, it's okay. And I had on this long blue gown. And I had to balance myself up and sit still on the stool. So I made it work. I made it work for you guys. The one thing about me is this is live. This is not, like on television. So thank the Lord where millions of people can see it. So that even be even worse. So it's preparing me for what's to come.
Yeah.
But we're going to talk a little bit about Twisted. Like, that show, Raheem, again, collectively just knows what he's doing. And you do music as well too. So what made you get into music?
Yeah. Well, that was my first love. Singing was just something that I had always done, and songwriting, played around with that, but trying to figure out how to kind of go about that was what got me interested. Well, actually, when I got reached out to do acting, I was like, well, I'll kind of do both. But then I noticed that acting could really be the vehicle for music, and so being able to like put your songs on soundtracks, and then people listen to the film and they're like, oh, okay. And so, but once I got into acting, I realized like, oh wow, I really have to like really get into this and work this all the way out. It's not something I can just do, I think, in music. But I did released my single "Ghosted" last year, and um, I love it. It's based on a real situation. I actually had got ghosted, and I was like, well, turn your pain into power, and just turned it into a song. And then we just filmed a music video a couple weeks ago, and so that, yeah, it's really dope. Like, I made sure to incorporate some acting into it. So like 3/4 of the way through the song, song cuts out, and there's a whole dialogue scene or whatever. And I was able to incorporate, Brandon Carson is in it. Ryan Ashley, who's a model actor as well, he's in there. And we had some super dope locations, and it was just fun because you can do a lot with a little. You know what I mean? And to see what has come from that one moment into a song, into a music video, and then this same song just got picked up to be in a film that'll be coming out by this director called Bobby Huntley, who's really moving and shaking things, in the greater market. So, but I was just saying today, I'm about to get back in the studio and work on some more music as well. So.
We can't wait for that. We cannot wait. And speaking of music, I want to throw in a few plugs. I see my sis, my mentor is here, Miss Janelle Jayase. Make sure you guys go and check her out. Beautiful. She is one of my mentors. I'm honored to have her as one of my mentors. Let's support our trans sisters. Let's support our sisters out here.
Yes.
Definitely everything that they're doing. She's just sensational. Amazing interviewer. And when I tell you this woman is spiritual.
Oh, I love
and you're spiritual as well, too. We'll get into that on how you protect your energy and stay so grounded. Wait, we got a question. I'm sorry. Hold up. Let me see.
What's that? Oh, okay.
Oh, I guess this question is for the both of us. Wow. If I got to work with him, I would love to act. I've never done acting. Normally you would see me speak out on issues like injustice and things like that. People will see me speak out, and they normally know me for makeup and hair and fashion, but for acting, for me, it would be new. So I would probably be like, I would play the role of the best friend or something, and he would probably be the lead character, because I know you don't want me to be the lead character, because I would be like Jennifer Lewis. Y'all seen the Mama and What's Love Got to Do with it? That would be me. She's my spirit animal. That would be me. That I would be next to the lead person wanting to steal the spotlight. That would be me.
Yeah.
So keeping it real, y'all.
It's just another medium to kind of express and change people's perspectives. Like, getting deeper into the story. That's what you do in interviews. This is just another way of changing perspectives and challenging the way people already think. So, let's do it.
Good question, AC Bar. Now we're going to talk about spirituality and keeping in tune. Now, we're seeing a lot of things going on in this world, but I absolutely love your feed. When I tell you I love your feed, like, it's just like a blank space. Like, it's just like, it's like these sirens, these angels are just coming down from heaven. Like, it's just clean, it's beautiful, it's perfect. Like, I love how you have it on your page. And I say that because you are very intact and in tune with your spirituality. More importantly, you stay grounded. So how do you stay grounded with everything that's going on?
I think one of the biggest things is paying attention to, and I've learned over time, to pay attention to what version of yourself shows up when you're doing certain things and when you're around certain people. Really start to tune into that. If you get done watching the news and you don't feel like doing anything and you feel unmotivated, maybe you shouldn't watch so much news. If you read a motivational book and then you feel like you want to go try and do something different, then read more of that. If you are hanging around friends and you try to share ideas with them and they're shutting them down, or they're not answering their phone, or they're being negative and you feel drained, maybe don't spend that much time with those people. And if you do something, or with another person, or have a conversation with them, and a brighter, more energetic version of yourself shows up, spend time around those people. And I think it's really just a form of self-love to not expose yourself to that which doesn't even really acknowledge your best self. Because in order for you to really go out in this world and affect change anyway, You got to be powerful. And the only way to be powerful is to be authentic. And so, just because they all doing this and they all doing that, you're not everybody. So you don't have to do, as long as you know your civic duty and you're registered to vote, and and you have your way about being a part of your community. Do what's best for you. And I think that has come from living in the DC area, working a regular job, um, just kind of hanging out with just the old round-the-way gay crew and just go and party and drink and stuff like that. And then having to move here and say, well, I can't do both. I need to focus my resources into my craft and into my gifts and stuff like that. And I started to realize, wow, I'm a lot less cynical. I'm a lot less resentful. Like, I'm a lot happier. I feel like you know, I feel like I just feel really, really good on the inside. And so, you know, I feel like it's important to put that out there. When you have something that's good for you, you can be confident that it's good for other people. So, social media is a tool and we can all use it however we want to. And I would like to help inspire other people because it's a very healing experience for me, where I didn't feel like I had someone growing up. So you know, we try to be what our younger self needed. So, and I've always loved quotes. I love quotes. I love a good, you know, just a good way of saying something. And it's just like, oh my goodness, like I never thought about it that way. Um, but yeah.
And one of the audience members says, facts. Yes, you got to
Yeah.
stay in tune. You got to stay. And
Hey.
shout outs to one of my besties, Bree. She told me something to the extent about originality. When you're doing your platform or whatever it is,
Mhm.
be original to your audience. Make sure you're being original. You're being authentic so that people can relate to you. And 9 times out of 10, lately, I've been getting a lot of DMs from people saying, "Oh well, what you said was true, 100%. We can relate to what you're saying. We've been through this situation,
Exactly.
and it's powerful when you have an impact on people,
Yeah.
and your influence, your words." And I said this today on the show earlier. I said a person's words have an impact on people. So when
They
you're
do.
out here and you're saying something
Yeah.
to somebody, it can be malicious
Right.
or it can be the most nice thing in the world.
It has power. It has a lot of
People
power.
will take it. Go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, no, you're fine. I was just adding on. It has a lot of power. And people think that they need to have a whole lot of followers and stuff, or to have this huge platform, or get on stage to be influential and to affect other people's life. But you can be influential every single day in every single way, right where you are. And if you just realize how powerful you are, like if you genuinely encourage somebody and you're genuinely happy for them, that could change their whole day around, you know? And so when we are walking past everybody with our blinders on and saying, well, when I get to the big stage or when I get to the big platform, then I'll say it. But your legacy is untold. There could be 20,000, 30,000 people on your way to that stage that you could have encouraged all along the way. You have to take the stairs to success. And so at every level, you're going to meet somebody else who's doing something at the same level that you are, and be humble enough to help add value to that, so that we're all
Yes.
cross-pollinating all the way up to the collective experience that we should all be contributing to. Because if you just want to be seen, if you just want to be on the stage, then it's about validation. And some people are more concerned with visibility than impact. If you focus on impact and how you feel, how you make other people feel, then you can have a more connected experience with, with the people around you, with your opportunities. Um, this moment is really all we have. So take the people that you have and be grateful for them, the opportunities that you have, be the best in those, because that's how you get to the next thing.
And speaking of opportunities and content creators, we've got Carl in the audience, ladies and gentlemen. J Star, definitely go and stream his album. I was just talking about you a few minutes ago, baby. It is out. Also, go and support Tramel. All of you guys are connected together because y'all are in the Atlanta area. And I'm pretty sure y'all know each other. So, hey, Carl, and go and check out the interview part 1 and 2 that he did yesterday with the fabulous Imani Van Zep. And I know you guys know who she is. She is just amazing. She's amazing. And everybody's talking about my energy. Baby, nobody has energy like that woman. So please go to her channel. Please go and subscribe and go and check out the interview that she did with Carl. And my girl Danita, again, happy birthday. She did an interview with Carl and Tramel as well too. The Corporate Mouth, make sure you guys go and check that out. And check out the Versus. The Versus is up. So we're talking to Chris with the next topic, which was talking about protecting your energy. We talked about that. Let's talk about passions. So I asked every guest that I interviewed, what are their passions? So what are some passions of yours? Like, it can be anything. Like, it can be, you know, your career. It can be just anything in life in general. What are some of your passions?
I like anything that involves looking at something and appreciating it, and like seeing something that somebody else doesn't see, and then being able to help them see it. So whatever that is, could be going hiking and looking at like the way that the sun shines through the leaves, and I'm like, oh my goodness, look at that. And, you know, I want to take a picture of it. I want to share and help somebody else see it. Or you know, I like things that have to do with like the whole feel. Like I like candles, I like books, like I like to...
You mentioned candles, and there's one in the background. So.
Yes. I love me some candles, some books. Like I love to really just relax and chill, because I feel like that's how I balance out, you know, doing all this other stuff. But yeah, I'm really passionate about talking to people and conversing and connecting with people. Like, I mean, it's just, I'm just passionate about life and the fact that I get to do different things. Like, I get to go to the studio and work on music. I get to read scripts. I get to do an audition. You know, I get to meet fascinating people who do different things. And I just try to remain grateful and just like take a step back and like really look at this moment and like, like, I don't know. Like, I get excited about a lot of different things. Like, it could be raining. I'm just like, oh my God! Like, the most vital resource is falling from the sky. Like, how magical is it for us to, you know, to live and to experience? Every day is totally different. You know, every day is totally different. So I think once I'm not in a place of fear, not worried about things, I'm not anxious. I can find anything in the moment to really appreciate. But I would say like my go-to things are definitely music. I prefer listening to music than watching TV. I try to watch a lot more TV because it helps to inform me, you know. But yeah, I'm a very like intimate individual. So like I like really detailed things and little nuances and stuff, and that's why I'm like into the arts and acting, because it's all really nuanced, you know. It's just a very subtle thing. It could just be a look, and all of a sudden somebody's like, oh, that's how you feel? Oh, because, you know. So as they say, greatness is in the details.
And those are your passions. Wait a minute, let me get to some comments from the audience. Okay, is Carl still here? So we got Carl. Carl said Chris is amazing. Privileged. Sean said Chris June is amazing. Yes, he is. Incredibly talented, incredibly handsome, and he's going to skyrocket. His career is going to skyrocket. Oh, yeah. Like I said, and I say this all the time, I like to manifest things. Oh, yeah. And what I feel is put out in the universe, can't nobody take that away from you. Nope. So definitely all of these good things are going to come to you, and then some. And we got some questions. Oh my God, I am enjoying this. Thank you, Terrence.
I'm glad.
All right. There's a question from V. Brown Actor.
Well, Sis, is there an area of arts, entertainment you haven't done and would like to do? Well, I just started my first semester at SCAD, so getting into filmmaking or whatever is something I'm really interested in because it's like it's just art all around. It's not just. I mean, you're watching to see what happens. You know what I'm saying? It's moving art. It's photography. It's rhythm. It's tone. It's connection. Um, it's thought life. It's the way that people think. Um, it's backstory. It's psychology. It's sociology. Um, it's authentic because each character can only pull from their own story. And it's honest, but then it has the power to evoke emotions in other people, even though the situation is not real. It's just imagined, but it's done so well that we feel like it's real. And then it goes around and it affects change, and before you know it, you have big shows like, Will and Grace that, help push
Yes.
forward gay marriage, and Free Willy was helping conservation efforts for whales and stuff like that. So can you imagine, when you take something that somebody else hasn't looked at a particular way and make it as vivid and colored and filled in as possible and as honest as possible, the power that it has. So I really want to get into filmmaking because I know that the impact of it, for me, it makes the work a lot easier, the technical stuff, because I'm like, I know what can happen when you conquer that, and you figure that stuff out.
And speaking of arts, hey sis, follow my sis, Ascilla K Arts. She did a beautiful Prince portrait. Like I love Prince. Prince is
Oh,
one of my
nice.
favorite singers. Please go and check that out. It's
I love
so
old school
gorgeous.
music.
So I meant to ask you that question too. Who are some of your musical influences?
Woo. Well, I definitely listened to a lot of Mariah Carey growing up. I feel like I listened to all of her albums. Anthony Hamilton was a really big influence, and then that early 2000s era. Oh my God, just about everybody who came up doing neo soul, like D'Angelo, Lauryn Hill, Jill Scott, Avery Sunshine, like Lettucey, like I love it. But now, um, I really like gospel music. I love I love like underground neo soul artists. Like I kind of really like artists. Hey Lee, look at Lee. Um,
That's why my mouth dropped.
I know Lee is awesome. Oh my God, I miss you. I need to come see you or something. Yeah, see he's down here now. But yeah, I like a lot of like underground neo soul artists because I like feeling like that song is just mine, and then when somebody else comes over, like I can put them on to something. You know what I mean? And we have access to so much more, but I think a lot of us, especially when we're older, we don't always think about there's so much more than what I'm just thinking about right now. You see it simply when somebody's like, "How do you do something?" I'm like, "Why does anybody ask how do you do anything nowadays? You have Google and YouTube." We should retire that phrase. You just pull out your phone, ask Siri. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's such a ingrained way of thinking. So like, if anytime I can find something like maybe even a new song that somebody else doesn't know, or that's just for myself, it makes me feel really authentic. Um, so yeah, you about to make me put on some neo soul artists after this, particularly like Mac Ayers, Tom Misch. I love her, Daniel Caesar, Xavier Omar. Who was it? Alexia? I forget her name. Alex. She's so good. Jasmine Sullivan. So
Oh,
good. Um, yeah.
Speaking of legends and entertainers,
Hey,
hey
Mikey.
Mikey, I love you. I love you. I've been following you on G Status, my love, and I would love to get an exclusive with you one day. So definitely go and follow Hey Mikey.
Yeah.
Incredibly talented. He has his radio program. Let's support LGBT content creators, period. And also we got Lee Hayes, who is the creator of Bait. Lee, you know what I want, baby.
Yes.
Bring it back. Bring
Yes.
Bait back. So I'm just star-studded. Just say when. Yes, DM me after my interview with Chris. But we're having such a great conversation. We're talking about some of his musical influences. You are so welcome, love. And V Brown, actor and singer. We've got Carl J in here. Like everybody that is in here showing Chris
Yes.
some love. Like it's just all love in here. It's
What's up?
always a good
What's up?
time when you come in here and my little home.
Yeah.
Okay, you said gospel. So who are some of your favorite gospel singers?
Leandria Johnson, Marvin
Uh,
Sapp, uh, William Murphy. I also like some tracks by Elevation Church, because I like my rock genre, gospel music as well. So, trying to think who else. I feel like I got like go through my phone. I got a lot of favorite tracks, but I think nowadays, especially like I kind of like set the Pandora station. I just kind of just let it go. But Leandra is just like she gets me. She gets me like in my feelings almost every single time that she sings. So
just DM'd you. Chris June is very special to me. Thank you for supporting and having him. Oh, no problem. Because I interviewed, I'm pretty sure you know his colleague too, Mikey, Chris DeLoach. I did an interview with
yeah,
him not too long ago. And now I'm interviewing Chris.
yeah.
I've interviewed one Chris. Now I'm
We actually
interviewing
grew up in
another
the same
one.
area. Me and Krista Lutz, both from DC area.
Yes. So I meant
Yeah.
to ask you about that too. So how did you come across him? Like, I'm surprised you two haven't collaborated on any
I
songs
know.
together
I
yet.
think it's
So
mostly
we're waiting on it.
yeah, it's mostly probably because I've been down here for like almost 4 years now. So that's when I've really done all my creative stuff like in the last 4 years. But yeah, we grew up in the same DC area. We knew of each other, ran into each other. Went to like a haunted house with his friends one time. Um, he's a great, he's a great time. He's super duper talented, can sing, and like he did bait, and so that's how I really was like. He was one of those people who inspired me because it was like Gary LeVard and like Brandon Carson and Chris Loach. Like people
Yes.
like that were like the first ones doing it, like online. Like about him, I think really about him season one, I think really opened the door for a lot of the shows that we have now. Um, because it was the first time that people were like actually sending it all around. Like, have you seen this show? You know, and it's ushered in an entire new generation of like web stars and web series actors and stuff like that, because that's the power of like when you show up and people can see you and they see a little bit of themselves, like they'd be like, okay, let me get about this costume, maybe I can go do that. So yeah, Chris did that for me,
And
definitely.
and you also do modeling as well too. So that's so crazy because Chris does modeling and you do modeling. So what made you get into modeling? Because you're like the jack of all trades. You do it all.
Yeah, well, you know, thank God for it, but it was just like it was funny. The first time, my first photo shoot, I was actually in the gym I was at Gold's Gym, and I was taking a picture in the mirror, and then there was this guy in there, and he was like, "Hey, do you model?" And I was like, "No." He was like, "Well, I'm just getting started as a photographer, but we could, maybe we could do something, it'd be real cool. Like we could go out in the city, take some pictures or whatever." And I was like, my coworker at work had just told me that I should model, so that had kind of like, see, that's the power of when you say stuff, because she had said that like maybe about a week ago, and so then this person said it at this time, and because I had that plan in the back of my head, I was like, okay, let me go ahead and do it. And when I did that, and I saw the back of the camera, and I was like, "That's me. Like that's me." You know, a lot of times we don't. People walk around and never actually see themselves, and they just say no, 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 and dumb down everybody else's compliments because people see what you don't see. And so once I started posting those pictures on Instagram, that's when I got reached out to by a lot more photographers and who wanted to shoot me and work with me. And it's just been one of those things where it's like, you know, I want everything that God has for me. And people say, you can't have it all. It's just like, maybe not at the same time. You know what I'm saying? But at some point or another, why can't I you know, get the most that I feel like life has for me. So I love it.
Yes, and modeling is excellent. You do it all. You do music, you act, and you model, and the photos that Chris is talking about are absolutely gorgeous. When I did the flyer promoting you and the interview, like that photo of you just looking like you're staring off into space somewhere, it was beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. I said, that's the photo I'm going to use right there because it captures your good side. And V Brown Singer said that face when I questioned you and I asked you what made you get into modeling. That face, he does have a very handsome face, beautiful face, beautiful features, and we could see it. I could see you walking for Ralph Lauren and other designers. So I'm claiming it. See, I like to speak things into the universe. So
no, I appreciate
just
that.
like, go ahead.
Yeah, I appreciate
I'm
that.
sorry.
And that's why, like, I've been focusing so much on acting, because with acting, you get opportunities to contribute to a soundtrack. You know, you're gonna do photo shoots. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, if I focus on the story, then how we capture it, you know what I mean? Like, will be the next thing. Because that's all photography is too. It's just stories, you know. It's just little ideas of a life taking place, and you know, in a different way. And so I'm here for all of that. I'm really here for all of that. So I appreciate that, and thank you for that comment, because like when I was younger, I was so nerdy and like skinny and like so I really came into myself, but it was still like I still could hear the sound of like the bullies' voices and people's like perceptions and opinions of me, even after it all, you know what I'm saying? And it takes time to kind of regurgitate all of that you've digested that was toxic for you, in order for you to get back to a place where you really love yourself. And you know, people make it seem like it's funny, but I would encourage anybody, especially in here, who's like, you know, struggling with loving themselves, because I tell you, we in this community struggle with loving ourselves probably more than any other community. To, you know, really take a mirror and look in the mirror and say to yourself, wow, this is the person that my friends meet. This is the person that gets things done. This is the person that gets the yes or the opportunities, you know. Look at that. Look at how you smile. Look at how you laugh. Like, you know, look at the way your eyelashes are, and you know, look at like how your cheeks curl up and stuff like that, and really get into it, because you've been blessed to be here and experience this, and to be so unique. There's nobody like you, so it's worth taking time to do that and appreciate yourself. And because you can have all these talents, you can have all these looks, and everybody else can know it. But there ain't nothing really gonna happen until you do.
Yes, and all of us have had an awkward phase. Our post, since Chris brought it up, now it's making me like kind of want to rethink my new look. It's kind of making me like, okay, because I was bullied through high school too. A lot of people don't know that about me. So yes, I've had an awkward phase too, and oof, I was struggling with makeup, but I will post that picture so that you guys can see it. And when you see the transformation now, it's just like, wow.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, you were bullied, so we don't see the difference. You still look the same, and that's what everybody says when they see me at a grocery store or something.
Right.
But I'm going to get into the comment that V. Brown, actor, singer, said. He said, those are the ones who grow up from the duckling into the swan. Hey, Crunch, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, the same ones that are being out here bullied, like, I'm pretty sure that everybody in the audience can relate to this. Where you have people who doubt you, and they say, oh, well, you're not going to do anything. You're never going to be anything. You're never going to amount to nothing. And then when they see your success, or they turn on the TV and they see you, they turn right around. And I've had that happen to me before.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure it's happened to you too. They come back around all of a sudden.
It's funny because I remember when I was in DC, when they put out the promo for About Him Season 2, and it was being shared all over Facebook, I had went to the club. This same club I would go to on any other occasion, but this time I had went. And every 2 or 3 people I was walking past was like, congratulations, like, so happy for you, and all of that stuff. And so, don't let people's lack thereof reaction to what you're doing dissuade you, because at one point or another, it's going to pop, and people are going to see it. But you really have to do it for you. You have to do it for you. But there's people who want to see you win. It's just their own little ego won't let them say it.
Exactly.
It's gonna set them free.
Oh, okay. We got another question. I'm sorry, I didn't see that one. What's your favorite tip to help others find their passion?
Be curious. Be curious and just try different things. That's what helped me find mine. I wasn't considering acting or anything like that, but then I tried it and I was like, ooh, this is kind of fun. I like this. It's interesting. And so just being curious. Don't be so stuck and set in your ways and saying, well, I'm not gonna like this, or that's not my thing. Like, when you say stuff like that, it won't be. So just be open-minded, And sometimes you gotta try things a couple times. Sometimes, because sometimes the first time you do it, it might not be a great experience. Just like the first time you eat broccoli, somebody might not have known how to cook. And then now you don't like broccoli for the rest of your life. But if somebody put it together the right way, you will be like, oh, okay. So I think, applying that same mentality to a lot of different areas, and just be like, it's possible that I could want to do something else and like something else. So I would just say stay curious. Thank you. That's so.
And more importantly, staying focused on what your intentions are. Like, if you have a passion, if you want to become an actor, or you want to become a model, or you want to become a singer, make sure you stay focused on what you. And when I did my interview with Cayman Kelly, V. Brian, you here, so I asked him, I said, what should people be focused on? Because he just recently put out a book and is now on the New York's bestsellers list. So this is the thing right here. You stay focused on whatever passion it is of yours. And mine's is fashion. Mine's is journalism. I love to write. I love to read. And you guys know I love beauty as well, too, and so many other things. And food. So you're going to be seeing a lot of that on my feed. But I stay focused to what the issues are that people can relate to.
Right.
And I never change. That's why my fan base is growing each day, because people can relate to what you're saying. And it's very powerful how a person, when they open their mouth and they say something, and it's an old adage that goes like this: when a person opens their mouth, they remove all doubt. So it can be good or it can be bad. And it's up to you. The choice is in your hands. Are you going to inspire people, or are you going to tear people down?
Yeah.
Miss Stevie, I love your thoughts.
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
And me, I keep it real. That Miss Stevie, keep it real. So I try to say the things that people can relate to. I don't try to be superficial.
Right.
And neither does Chris or any other person that I've interviewed on my platform. So when it comes to passion, you have to be specific. Like, you want it straight, we're going to give it to you straight. And that's just what it is.
Right.
And a lot of people have to be willing to handle the truth as well, too. And
The truth
what are
is,
your thoughts on accountability? Because we're seeing a lot of what's going on with this country. I'm not even going to dig too deep into that because I know everybody's stressed out.
yeah.
But
Right.
accountability,
Yeah.
what are your thoughts on that?
Accountability is really important. Like, if you can't be honest with yourself, then every friendship and relationship is going to be questionable, you know? So you really got to be accountable for what you say. And I think the thing about it is, when it comes to accountability, it's not that people feel, well, it's really people they just don't know how much, like, how powerful they are. You just have no idea how powerful you are. Because if you just did things a little bit different, you showed up a little bit different, if you just would just show up, it would change things. Like, the entire room would be shifted because you're in it, because you decided to go, you know, because you decided to say something, or, you know, or you were honest with yourself and you were like, you know what, I didn't do my best. I didn't do my best. You know, something I wrote down a couple days ago. Uh, that talks kind of about accountability, I guess, in a sense, but, you know, the person of the experience may be irrelevant, but the person may be irrelevant, but the experience was relevant to your growth. So when we have feelings and we're affected by life, there's something there. It's just like when you go to the gym and you work out and you feel a bit of soreness in this particular area. That's a place where you can grow and have some strength. You know, if you feel some soreness in your own life about, you know, checking your bank account, you know, about opening the fridge because you didn't clean it out, you know, start challenging those places, because once you pull that thread, you'll find that it really traces all the way back down to your own sense of worthiness about yourself, and whether you're worth the time, worth the effort. So, I mean, accountability is a huge thing. And, you know, what's going on in this country, like, how I kind of think about it is, every generation has had to face adversity. And one day we woke up and realized that it included us too, you know? But I think we just have to keep focused and stay on the mark, because God put us here for a reason in this season, in this generation. He knew what was already going to happen. So you just have to know that you just got to keep doing what you're supposed to do. You covered. I haven't gone without, thank God. You know, it's been emotionally trying, of course, but I feel a new sense of mental toughness that I would not otherwise have because of it. So.
Miss Stevie, you're killing this virtual interview game. I'm so proud of you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Those are my girls, my besties, Sunshine and Steph. Y'all go and check out my girl Steph's lash line, the bomb lashes. I'm wearing some of them today, so make sure you guys go and check that out. And again, shout outs to the makeup artist, Melanie Nalamai Bridges, for making me look fierce. She gave me a fierce beat, so I'm over here just glowing today. I don't know what it is, but we're talking about accountability. We're talking to Chris about accountability, and also to add on to that is about being original. Be original to yourself. We talk about originality all the time, and a lot of people make comparisons to me and other influencers out there. I'm just like, no, I'm in a whole nother lane on my own. I try to be myself. I don't try to be like a T.S. Madison or Raheem. I don't try to be like anybody else. They're incredibly talented, but I don't want to take away from them. I would rather just build my own lane. And everybody talks about, I'm going to go a little bit deeper, a seat at the table. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on that? Because you basically built your own seat at the table. And I remember also seeing you do radio as well, too. So, like I said, he literally does it all.
Yeah. I think from myself, like, I had to switch my perspective from chasing clout to be in the cloud. You know what I'm saying? And I'm already awesome and beautiful and amazing. So it just takes the consistency of learning all the skills about what it is, the things that you want to do, and taking your dream with you everywhere. You When you go around town and you talking to people, let them know what you do. People respond to that, you know, and that's what these people do who have these big brands or have these big names, either through social media, consistency, or when they go around town, they are letting people know every day what it is that they do. And everybody wants to just be like, oh, I don't want to tell nobody, and then nobody knows, and then nobody's interested because you never gave them anything interesting, you know. So take your dream with you everywhere and share it and share it, share it, because it can take one person, it can take one video to change everything. And if you understand your nature and like, this is who I am. I'm a creator. I'm an artist. I'm an actor. And life wants to see me win. It's abundant. That today has the potential to be the best day of the rest of my life. So you better have that conversation. Let that person know, and just focus on yourself. You start focusing on what other people are doing and all that. That just takes energy away from what you could be doing yourself.
Exactly. And also to add on to that is just staying accomplished on your goals and your dreams. Staying accomplished on your goals and your dreams. And my girlfriend says I agree to that. And you got fans all the way from let's see, Nigeria watching. So
I love it.
Chris is everywhere. Y'all feeding our souls this evening. Yes, we could go on and on. This is what Style by Stevie is about. It's about amazing, great conversation.
My best friend is in here, Shanice. Nice to cool. Best friend of 17 years, if I'm counting correctly. She changed my life. We could do a whole question segment just on her influence alone.
Okay, all right, y'all. Fill that question box up if you have any questions for Chris. Friends, family, whomever, type it in the question box. Hey, BFF.
Yeah. So,
I know you are so proud of Chris. We all are proud of him. Like, again, very talented. Very talented. Also, again, shout outs to Hey Mikey, Alex Jonte, Lando, all of them, all of these, Raheem as well too. Like,
powerful.
If it wasn't for these platform artists, we wouldn't know who you are.
Yeah.
We wouldn't know who you are.
Yeah.
Like, you guys, again, collectively, each and every one of you are just uniquely
it's
talented.
really interesting because everyone's done different aspects of shows, and it's like, so we've all been making it possible for each other, you know, in one way. It's always been a team sport, even if we're doing different shows or we're playing different characters or they come out at different times. It's a team sport. So it's wild because like Lando was on About Him, and you know, he was just acting, and now he's creating opportunities for others and telling stories, and you know, and I was just acting, but now I'm doing it too. So it's just like, could you imagine 5-10 years from now what that could look like? What could be different? You know, it's really a lot. It really is about the journey. And it was the most frustrating thing when people would say, "Oh, just enjoy the journey." I'm like, how am I enjoy the journey? I got to get to the thing. Like, I have to get to the thing, you know. But it's like when you just trust and know that it's going to happen, then you can appreciate every little moment along the way. You can appreciate what other people are doing and knowing that that doesn't threaten what you have going on. It should encourage you that it's possible. You know, like, look at that. Look what God did for him, he could do for me. You know.
And you talk about discouraging people. We're going to see a lot of that. The more people see you climb at the top of your ladder of success, there are going to be people that are going to try to tear you down and discourage you. And what they do is, this is what they do. They see you at the top of your career, and even I am starting to see it now as I grow each and every day. I wouldn't say, oh, well, they asked, well, who are you? Are you a legend? I said, no, I'm not a legend. I can tell you who is a legend, though. T.S. Madison, she's a legend.
Okay.
I'm new to the scene. So people really don't know who a Miss Stevie is yet. They only know me word of mouth. I'm not out there like that yet.
Right.
And the reason why is because, like I said, I stay in a lane. It's all about staying true to yourself and staying in a lane that people can relate to you too. And everybody has a story that they can tell with their... Go ahead. I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
Yeah,
No,
I was saying that everybody has a story that they want to tell with their life. And whether it's acting, singing. Oh my God, do you want to come back for a part 2? Because it's going to cut off on us.
Oh, is it? Okay, yeah, we can do that.
Yes.
I gotta plug my...
All right, more amazing conversation coming up next, you guys. I'm going to get off.
Okay, we'll hop back in.